All right, let's move on to domestic policy. As you guys can see here, here's an interesting story that just came out. Secretary Kristi Noem, southern border walls will be painted black at Trump's request. And as you guys know, Kristi Noem, look, man, let's just be honest here. Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi, right, got appointed by the president for the face card, right? They're not really competent. Both of them have, said and done embarrassing things. Pam Bondi is completely fucked up. The Epstein files. She's on Fox News talking about the files are on my desk like an idiot, right? Kristi Noem doesn't know the definition of words. So, here she is on the border with Border Patrol, on the wall.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you?
Secretary, nice to meet you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security, and I appreciate you all being here. I know that it's warm, but we're covering a very important event. As of tomorrow, President Trump will have been in the White House and in charge of this country for 7 months. And in this first 7 months, he has accomplished some unprecedented things for the security and the safety of all American citizens. As you know, when he campaigned to get elected as President of the United States, he promised the American people that he would secure our border, that he would ensure that the invasion of the illegal criminals that were coming into our country under the Biden administration would be stopped, and that he would do all that he could to restore the safety to our American communities. And he has done exactly that. In fact, today we have the most secure U.S. border that we've ever had in the history of this nation. It's incredible the work that he has done along with the good folks out of CBP and ICE and law enforcement, federal agencies in partnership with states like Texas right here, and also with our local law enforcement that have stepped up and deployed individuals and resources to help us secure this border.
So, Secretary.
Okay, you guys want to see something funny? Look at this. Here's Kristi Noem in action.
Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right.
Bruh.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason.
And the reason why they're bringing this up is because basically the Democrats and the libs and the progressives and the whatever the fuck they want to call themselves nowadays, it's like they got different names every single day. They're making the argument that ICE is violating habeas corpus by arresting individuals and, dudes show up in masks and arrest you and everything else like that. And they're saying it's violating habeas corpus, which basically you have a right to know and be brought in front of a judge and be alerted as to what you're being arrested for, what you're being detained for. That's what it is, right? But the fact that Kristi Noem couldn't define this as the Secretary of Homeland Security, very fucking bad look, bro. Especially when the Dems and the lefties are saying, yo, ICE is operating like Gestapo. They're coming in and kidnapping people in the night wearing masks and shit like that. So her not knowing the definition made things way fucking worse, bro. And for those of you that don't know, she's a former governor. I think she was the governor of South Dakota, if I'm not mistaken. I can double check. Either South or North Dakota. Let's look this up. And these women hold very powerful positions, by the way. She's the Attorney General of the United States, and she's the Secretary of Homeland Security. Very powerful positions. They pretty much control law enforcement, if we're going to be all the way honest. These two women control all the law enforcement in America, essentially. Damn near. At the federal level. The FBI, the biggest law enforcement agency, it's under the Department of Justice. Who's the Attorney General? Her. She oversees the FBI. Kash Patel works for her. Homeland Security Investigations, second biggest agency in the country, law enforcement agency federally, Who are they under? Kristi Noem. So these two women oversee the largest law enforcement agencies in the country and many others. DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, HSI, CBP, Customs and Border Protection, Office of Field Operations, Border Patrol, Office of Air and Marine, Bureau of Prisons. Bro, these two control damn near every federal law enforcement agency and all the biggest ones. But she doesn't know what habeas corpus is. That's wild, bro.
To decide if it should be suspended or not.
DEI hires, bro. Both of these bimbos.
It has never
Let us be clear, though,
it
that
has
this
never
president-
been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
All right.
Today, we're going to be talking about the incredible work that these individuals have done
Thank you,
in
Mr.
making
Chair.
sure that we're
Good
continuing
morning,
to construct
Madam Secretary.
infrastructure. And when you look at what is behind us as far as the wall that is being built, you see obviously the structure, but also there will be more added to it as far as.
Yeah, and I know some of you guys are saying like, yo, how did these women get these positions? You guys got to understand that what Trump did was on his first, okay. So for you guys to understand why he gave these women these positions, you got to understand the first term. So in Trump's first term, guys, in 2016, the first thing you guys need to understand is that Trump didn't think he was going to win. Okay, that's number one. He did not think he was going to win, right? So when he won, it was a pleasant surprise. But the problem with that is like, he was like, oh shit, I won. Guys, every president basically has to fill in like 5,000 positions in the government, okay? He's not a politician. He's from New York, business guy, real estate guy, celebrity, okay? A lot of people forget that he was a TV star before being president of the United States with the show The Apprentice, which was wildly popular in the 2000s, right? And a real estate tycoon. So he didn't have any contacts in Washington, D.C. He wasn't in the political world. So what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. He had to rely heavily upon the very swamp creatures that he competed against. He had to rely upon people like John Bolton and everything else getting put in his administration. He had to basically have these swamp creatures / deep state people come in because he didn't have the infrastructure, the knowledge, or the wherewithal to be able to appoint people into positions of power. So what ended up happening was the people that he competed against that didn't like him ended up becoming a part of his administration. And they railroaded a lot of the shit that he wanted to get done. So the first like 2 years of the Trump presidency, he couldn't get anything done, chat. Okay? So by the time he did start getting things done, he's had to, get ready to leave. Now, on top of that, the 2020 election, we all know was stolen, right? Shit used to be banned for even saying that, but we know that that's just fucking stolen. So not only was he betrayed by his vice president, Mike Pence, who validated the votes and shit like that, in 2020 after he lost, he had people that weren't really loyal to him in the first administration that helped him get anything done. He fired a lot of these guys. So when Trump came around the second time on this administration, he learned from his mistakes. What did he do? He hired and appointed people that were loyal to him. Kash Patel, loyal to him. Pete Hegseth, loyal to him when he was on Fox. Always talked well about Trump. Kristi Noem supported all of his policies. Pam Bondi was one of his lawyers. Todd Blanche, the deputy attorney general under Pam Bondi, was a defense attorney, I think, in the New York case with the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Right? Marco Rubio, they used to be enemies, but they kind of they're amicable now. JD Vance came in because JD Vance brought the Silicon Valley money. And the J Lobby, if you know what I'm saying. So JD Vance brought with him Peter Thiel, the PayPal Mafia, and the tech world, and they got behind Trump. Right? Because normally Silicon Valley almost always votes Democrat. All these dudes. And they got with him because they knew that Trump would go harder on Israel. Go harder on behalf of Israel. So this is what ended up where you have people like, people talk shit about Kash Patel being, not qualified. Kash Patel was a federal prosecutor before, and he's a lawyer. He's never been in law enforcement ever. Right? Dan Bongino was former Secret Service, not FBI. Didn't do criminal investigation, did protection details. The mission of the FBI and Secret Service are vastly fucking different. Vastly. Okay? So, obviously, when Trump made a lot of these appointments, right, people were very critical. Like, why the fuck are you appointing people like Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel? None of these people are qualified. But Trump looks at it like, I'd rather put people in that might not be qualified on paper that are going to be loyal to me and let me get my shit done. Why do you guys think Trump was able to sign like 40 fucking executive orders in the first couple of days of him being in? Right? So that's basically what happened. That's why, what's it called? What was I going to say? That's why a lot of these people got these positions, though some might say that they're unqualified. Like all the Dems were saying, oh, all of his cabinet picks aren't qualified. Robert F. Kennedy, etc. That's another one. So Trump values loyalty over competency and experience because competence and experience didn't serve him well in his first administration.
As technology, cameras, sensors that will ensure that it will be secure far into the future and that will be efficient as well with our resources and our individuals and our agents that are out here on duty day and night making sure that America is safe. Remember that a nation without borders is no nation at all. And we're so thankful that we have a president that understands that and understands that a secure border is important to our country's future. Now, if you look at the structure that's behind me, it's tall, which makes it very, very difficult to climb, almost impossible. It also goes deep into the ground, which would make it very difficult, if not impossible, to dig under. And today, we are also going to be painting it black. That is specifically at the
wonder why.
Request of the president, who understands that in the hot temperatures down here, when something is painted black, it gets even warmer. And
Trump wants these motherfuckers' hands to burn.
Will make it even harder for people to climb.
Oh my God. I want it black. Okay. Could you imagine Trump telling Kristi Noem, I want it painted black. Illegal immigrants, when they try to come in, their hands are going to get burned. Okay. So Kristi, I need you to paint it black, just like the black guys that you fucked when you were in college in South Dakota. Thank you. I'm going to work on my Trump impression.
So we are going to be painting the entire southern border wall.
It's not bad, though. It's not bad.
Black to make sure that we encourage individuals to not come into our country illegally, to not break our federal laws, but that they will abide and come to our country the right way so that they can stay and have the opportunity to become United States citizens and pursue the American dream. Now, we got an incredible amount of resources allocated to us.
Yo, that's actually funny as fuck that they're painting the thing black so it makes it hotter when they try to touch it, bro. That's crazy, man.
In the big, beautiful bill.
Rare black W.
And we're so thankful for that because that's going to allow us to continue construction.
Oh, yeah, this big, beautiful bill, by the way, guys, allotted a lot of money to immigration, bro. A lot. I know a bunch of people that got emails to go back to ICE. Retired agents to go back.
Now is at the pace of a little bit less than a half a mile a day, and the border wall will look very different based on the topography and the geography of where it is built. Here you see structure. We will have waterborne infrastructure that will be put in place as well, and then that technology will be installed. And we'll utilize that to make sure that we're doing due diligence in securing every single inch of our border. And it's not just our southern border that we
I'll be right back. Gonna get an energy drink and some water, chat. Give me 1 sec.
We are concerned with and putting resources into. It is every border from our maritime seas to also our northern border to make sure that the American citizens can have safety, but also that our laws are enforced. I'm very grateful today to be here with two individuals that are leading our effort as far as securing our border, but also day to day making sure that our laws are enforced. I'd like to introduce first the Chief of the U.S. Border Patrol, Mike Banks, to share a few words with you. And then after him, Walter Slozer is the interim chief of the Border Patrol here in the El Paso sector. So with that, Chief Banks, would you like to come up and share a few words?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Madam Secretary. As she said, my name is Michael Banks. I'm Chief of the United States Border Patrol. And what you see behind us is just the beginning of a lot of wall we're going to be building with money that we received from the big, beautiful bill. This is just one of many ways that we are fortifying our border and securing our border against illegal immigration. Once we get the infrastructure up, we'll also see lighting go up, camera systems go up, ground sensing technology as well. And then, as the Secretary said, we're going to paint it black for two reasons. One, The black's going to protect the wall from rusting, and 2, black gets hotter and makes it more difficult to climb. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Chief Slozar, who's the interim chief patrol agent of the El Paso sector.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Chief Banks. I just want to thank the administration, the Secretary, and Chief Banks for, one, having the will to secure the border in between the ports of entry. We've long known that barriers are key into shaping the operational environment. We're going to continue to build these barriers. And, you know, it's a message, a clear message that says we are removing people from the smuggling cycle. We're not going to put them into that. And we're promoting economic prosperity on the north side. So this area north of us is in the plans as to build.
And just so you guys know, right? I've explained this before, but like, remember, Border Patrol is green uniform. CBP is blue uniform. If you see a green uniform, that means you're not supposed to come to the United States this way. If you see blue uniform, that means it's a valid port of entry. They're checking your passports or whatever. Now, it's a little confusing because within Customs and Border Protection, there's 2 different factions. So first, it's CBP, right? Under CBP is Office of Border Patrol and then Office of Field Operations. Office of Border Patrol is a green uniform you guys see here. These guys, where if you try to come in to the United States through an area that you're not supposed to, they're going to arrest you and apprehend you, right? And a non-valid port of entry. But if you get to an airport or you're trying to cross the United States through a bridge, maybe through Canada or through Mexico, and you see a blue uniform, that's Customs and Border Protection Office of Field Operations. Those guys are responsible for allowing you to come in legally. You show them your passport or your travel document, and they let you in. Okay? Big difference. So all of them are under, so it goes, DHS is the top. Under DHS is Customs and Border Protection. Under Customs and Border Protection, 2 different factions. Office of Field Operations, blue uniform, valid ports of entry, where you come in, and then Office of Border Patrol, green uniforms, where you're not supposed to come in. Blue good, green bad. Give me ones in the chat if that makes sense. It's very complicated. It's very confusing, you know, and unless you work in the government, you're not going to know this shit, or it confuses a lot of people. But give me ones if that makes sense for you guys.
Build and put in shops and schools and houses, and this is going to help secure this area for the betterment of the El Paso community, and we're taking border security serious. I've been through 6 different administrations, and I can tell you I've never felt the support from our leadership than I feel today, and that's under the leadership of
6 administrations. Goddamn, this nigga been around. Bruh.
Our secretary. I'm proud to stand here with her, and I want to thank you for being out here to get our message to the community so that they know why border security is important to national security. It is national security. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Walter. And I want to thank the agents that are standing here with me today, but I also want to thank all of our other Border Patrol agents who stand on watch every single day, 24/7, to make sure that they're providing for the security of our nation and for our future. So may God bless them and keep them safe as they continue to do their work. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have. Yes, ma'am.
You guys have achieved record lows, not seen since the 1960s on a monthly basis. The Paso sector was, I think, 1,000 apprehensions in July. Given that drop to 29 or 39 average
I can't hear any of her fuck questions.
today, who's left coming? And sometimes you stop the people that you're now seeing.
You know, I'll let Walter speak to that because he knows specifically the individuals that they're encountering here. But I think it is remarkable that for May, June, and July, we've had 0 illegal aliens come into the United States of America, according to our records, and encounters that people that have come into our country that we have the most secure border in our nation's history. I also want to point out one other statistic that came out this week that was incredibly important to our country is that according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, we have 1.6 million illegal aliens that have gone home voluntarily. They have left the United States, returned to their countries at the encouragement of President Trump and his policies so that they have an opportunity to come back to America the right way. So they have the opportunity to come back and pursue the American dream and provide for their families the right way into the future. So that's an incredible amount of individuals who recognize now is the time to go home. And if they choose to come back to the United States, to do it while abiding with our laws. But Walter, would you like to speak to who you're encountering at the border here in this sector specifically today?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you for that question. So here in the El Paso sector, In 2023, we had one day where there were 2,300 people apprehended by the U.S. Border Patrol. We are now apprehending on a 7-day average about 41 people a day. And you ask, who are those individuals? The majority of them are single adults. The majority are from Mexico, followed by Guatemala and Ecuador. And those individuals are not unlike the 3 years before this, where they were following our Border Patrol agents, tracking them down, and we were...
Okay, let's segue over to